Looks like some repair work's been done. Good morning, I'm on Bleaklow. I parked at the Snakes Pass. I've come up the Pennine Way along Devil's Dyke. And I do have a video talking about Devil's Dyke. I'll put the link on the screen. So the weather today is not looking fantastic. There are weather warnings in place for thunderstorms. There's a lot of very low cloud. I'm wearing my full waterproofs and it's quite humid, so I'm quite hot and quite sweaty. But today, just doing another kind of explore walk on Bleaklow, going to places that don't often get visited. Most of the places I'm planning on going to today I have been to before, but not all of them. And the places I've been to before, I think I've only been there once or maybe twice. So I want to go back to have another look, to have a proper explore. There are bits I haven't walked before, but it will partly depend on what happens with the weather. But yeah, I think the word you would use right now is atmospheric. Well, don't the skies look dramatic? Today's walk is going to take me around this area here. Part of me was tempted to cut the corner off here, but I do love Hearncluff, so I won't cut the corner off. I'm in no hurry today, so I think I'm going to go down and check out the waterfalls up close in Hearncluff today. It looks spectacular, but I am being eaten alive by swarms of midges as I stand here. Usually at this point you have to go over the stile. I'm going to be checking out this area over here. But I want to go to Grains in the Water because I love that spot, and then I'll take the path up and we'll get up to that rock formation there near Alport Head, and then we'll kind of contour around. There's a couple of cloughs I want to check out and some interesting rock formations over there as well. I probably shouldn't jinx it, but that low cloud is lifting. So here we have it. This is Grains in the Water. This is the confluence of this stream here that comes down from Hearncluff and this stream here that comes down from Alport Head. The two meet here, and then this eventually becomes the River Alport, and the sun's come out. Here you can go two different ways. You can go that way and follow the Alport Valley down. The path eventually ends up, it's quite a narrow path, but it ends up being about halfway up the side of the valley. You get some pretty good views walking along that path. Done that a few times, but today we're gonna hopefully circle around the swamp and hopefully not end up in the swamp. It's starting to open up a little bit more now, and you can see the area that I wanted to walk today. So I wanted to walk up there, and basically all of this. So you can see this clough here, there's kind of splits. You got half going up that way, half going up that way. You got the rock formations at the top. You've also got another clough along here. Now a lot of this I have walked before, bits of it I haven't, and I don't know if I'm going to be walking all of this today, and I don't know how I'm going to work out a route that's going to take me across the top and that down there and down there and also over there. So we're just going to play it by ear really to see exactly where the route's going to take. I'm very close to where I was walking a few weeks ago when I visited the Grinner Stones and Bleaklow Stones. This ridge here is the ridge. This ridge is the ridge. Strictly speaking, Alport Head is up there, but this rock formation is sometimes referred to as Alport Head. Although it's not really. It doesn't have any other name. It's pretty impressive. I've been up there once before. I've walked along the fence line below on one occasion, and then I've actually been up the top. I scrambled up the top on another occasion, but that's the only time I've been up the top before. I've never seen anyone else go up there. It is pretty interesting, so we're going to go up there again today and have a good look, and then just play it by ear really. This whole area, play it by ear, see what we can see. If we see something interesting, we'll go and have a look. But this rock formation to me kind of looks a little bit like the Grinner Stones. It's like a smaller version, less impressive version of the Grinner Stones. I really shouldn't jinx it, but this is not what the weather forecast said. The sun is trying to come out. The Grinner Stones have come into view. I'll get above the rocks in a few minutes, but first I want to get beneath that rock formation there. Right, I'm very close. I need to zoom out to get it all in. So I have been up to this rock formation once before. I've walked below it along the fence line on another occasion, but I've never seen anyone else come here. This is pretty cool. You can see gaps between the individual rocks, a bit of sunlight coming down. Definitely a good place to come if you get caught out in bad weather and need some shelter. On the top of the rock formation now, just going to have a good look around, and then I'll contour around to that rock formation over there, get a good look down into these cloughs while I'm doing that. On most of the rock formations on Bleaklow, you'll find rocks where people have engraved their name in it, dates, other things. You see that in just about every rock formation on Bleaklow. Even the Griller Stones, which is pretty remote, but I've not seen anything like that here. I don't think people come here ever. Hopefully you can hear me. Right, so I've had a fairly good look around the Alport Head rock formation. I'm going to contour around the side of this clough. I think there's going to be a few rock outcrops like that one there, but I'm aiming for that rock outcrop over there. It's taking a lot longer than I expected because I want to properly check out every rock feature I come across, and to do that you need to walk all the way around it. This clough extends up a lot further than I thought. So I'm thinking I might try and cut across. It's not going to be easy. Cut across, get onto that ridge line and contour around to that rock formation over there. Look at the clouds. It's not looking good. I'm actually in the clough right now, or at least part of it. I think it splits a few times. It wasn't too bad getting in here because there was a sheep trough which I followed. I think it goes that way, but I'm going to try heading off that way. I think I'm going to have a few more obstacles because, as I say, this clough does split, and I think there's a few more splits that I'll need to cross over. And I'm not liking the look of that cloud. Well, I'm glad I didn't take the waterproofs off because here comes the rain. Luckily I found another sheep trod. This rock formation I have been to before as well. This is a little bit special. Again, not many people come here, but there's one rock in particular that's quite special. So you can see all the rocks that we checked out. That is just the side of Alport Head rocks, and then you've got the other rock formations that I walked through. Got to about there, that rock formation, and that's where I cut across and up to this rock formation. So this rock here, or this rock formation, is known as the Dragon Stone. This is the other side of the Dragon Stone, and as you can see, it's got matching eyes. And here you can see this is not natural. At some point this has been piled up to create quite a small, well, in fact a very small area. Yeah, it's quite interesting that this has been walled up at some point, because I don't know why they would have bothered. There's really not much space behind it, and the space behind it is open as well. It's not like there's a big overhang, so that's very curious. Right, well, I do need to find somewhere that is fairly sheltered, because it's lunchtime. This might work, although I'm not sure what I'm going to sit on. So I'm not going to have my lunch here for a couple of reasons. One, the wind's finding a way to blow right through, and two, there's a bit of rubbish. There's an old bottle, possibly a very old bottle there. There it is. But the third reason is there's a dead mountain hare just there. So it doesn't look like it's been dead for very long, but there are insects crawling all over it. So no, I'm not going to have my lunch there. I'm going to find somewhere else. I was about to say that I've been expecting to see mountain hares on this walk today. The last time I went to Alport Head rocks, I saw several of them. But that dead mountain hare is the first one I've seen today. Right, well, it's starting to rain quite heavily now, and there doesn't seem to be anything that's going to give me very much protection from the rain or the wind here. I should have had an early lunch when I was at Alport Head rocks, because there are a number of spots and overhangs that would have been suitable there. But I think what I'm going to do is get off this high ground, because it may only be raining where I am. It may not be raining lower down. I don't think any of these are quite big enough for me to shelter underneath. They're all just a little bit too small, but could this work? Partially work? Get me out the wind anyway. Gets me out the wind, but not the rain. Okay, maybe here. This spot gives me a bit of shelter from the wind. Gives me a bit of shelter from sideways rain. Might perch myself here. These donuts are nice if you've never tried them, but I do prefer the strawberry ones. However, the last couple of times they've only had the chocolate ones left. Actually, not been too bad sat here, mostly out of the winds. It didn't really rain. The sun's even occasionally come out. You really notice the winds as soon as you're back out in it, out of the shelter. I think I was more sheltered there than I realised at the time. Okay, so I want to check out this clough here. So I'm stood at the top of one of the splinters of a clough known as Far Fork Grain. And try saying that after a few drinks. So I do want to have a look down here, but I don't know where the good stuff is, whether it's on this splinter or the next one down, next one along. So I might go down this one and then go up the other one. So here we are, we're looking at Far Fork Grain, or the main part of Far Fork Grain. Usually there's quite a bit of water going down that waterfall there. I've never been in Far Fork Grain before. I've been meaning to come here for a while because from a distance you can see the waterfalls on here. But today we don't really have much water running, unfortunately. We don't have much flowing water. It's quite an impressive clough. The sides of the clough are very steep, quite high. I've joined it about midway along, but just below where the waterfalls are. So I think I'm going to follow it up to the top. All of this water flows down into the swamp and ultimately ends up in the river Alport. That's not natural, surely. When you're over there and you look up here, you can see this. And from that distance, it looks like a much bigger waterfall than it is. In reality, I think it's just the rock that you can see and the water that's flowing over the rock, glinting in the sunlight and shimmering, that makes it look like a more impressive waterfall. But that said, it has been quite dry recently, so there would normally be more water flowing than there is today. And after very heavy rain, this probably does look quite impressive. Okay, pretty much at the top now. So this is hard work. Ground's very marshy. Some deep groughs, so you have to clamber up and down. But I think I'm pretty close to the Pennine Way now. I can't see it, but I think if someone was to walk past, I'd see their heads. And I can see the cars parked on the road over there, so hopefully not long before I'm back on the path. Well, I've made it. Boot's only a little bit wet. I'm on the Pennine Way just up from Hearncluff. It's spots like this that make you realise that even though we have had some rain in the last week or two, it's still incredibly dry here. Back at Hearncluff, that's the little waterfall that I crossed this morning and went down Hearncluff. Okay, well, you can see most of the route that we've taken today. I went down Hearncluff to Grains in the Water, to the path up via the swamp up to near the top of Alport Head, up to Alport Head stones, contoured around. There's the dragon stone over there. From there came down into Far Fork Clough, down there, up again, and then across to the Pennine Way. There are a lot more people around now than there were this morning. So there must definitely be some kind of trail running event on today, because I passed dozens and dozens of trail runners. Are a lot better than they were this morning. I've just come off the Pennine Way onto the Doctor's Gate path just to try and get a bit of shelter from the wind. As you can probably hear, only partially successful. Quite a short walk today. Some interesting rock formations. I'm slightly disappointed I didn't see any living mountain hares. I'm a little bit worried about the population of mountain hares in the Peak District. It does seem to be under threat. It does seem to be diminishing. Usually when I'm walking the area that I've walked today, I will see some mountain hares. But it's been a fairly good walk. It wasn't the planned route today. There was a last minute change yesterday from what I was going to do. Don't worry, I will do the original plan at some point. But today it was a last minute substitution, mainly because of the weather. The weather forecast was horrendous. There were all kinds of weather warnings in place for today, and certainly this morning it wasn't looking very good. And there have been times where, the weather hasn't been very good, and I can see fairly heavy rainfall in the distance, and some of these clouds do not look very good. But the reality is there's been more sunshine than there has rain today. So I probably could have done the original plan, but never mind. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the video today. We've been to some interesting spots, some spots people don't often go to, some rock formations that very few people visit. And the weather's turned out all right in the end, apart from the wind. So hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you did, please give it a like and maybe subscribe. And even if you didn't enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you next time.